Ever since I was a child, I adored horror movies, scary stories, old legends, and myths. While most kids were into singers, actors, and movie posters, I loved vampires, the one eyed cyclops, everything related to horror and gore, monster movies, thrillers, the supernatural, the mysterious, and the unexplained. Because these things only happened in movies, or so I thought. But what if they were to happen in real life? Let me tell you a story where something like this did happen in real life. My name is Marlene, and I am 15 years old. Like I said, unlike other kids, I loved horror stories, zombies, vampires, and ghosts. The only one who shared my tastes was my brother Stan, an oddly stylish guy with a strange character. Nevertheless, I liked him. There were a lot of scary monsters, of course, but to me, the werewolf was the scariest of them all. A werewolf is an ordinary person who has been bitten by a werewolf, which in turn causes him to become one too. A werewolf looks like you or me most of the time, but around the time of the full moon, that cursed person will transform into a monster with a taste, or should I say, a thirst, for human blood. My parents had gone to visit some relatives and stay with them for the Christmas holidays, but I stayed home because I wanted to spend that time with my friends. Stan stayed home with me for similar reasons. One night, he came home looking tired, and his hand was bleeding. When I asked him what had happened, he said that some wild dog had attacked him and bit him. I was worried that it might get infected without Mom here to cleanse and bandage it, but he assured me that he was okay. I cleaned it the best I could and put a light bandage around it. The next day was a cold day, but we played outside and had fun together with our friends. At the end of the day, Stan said he was feeling tired and went straight to his room without saying another word. When I went inside, I could hear him crying in his room, so I went in and asked him if he was okay. Again, he said he was fine, but I was thinking that maybe the bite in his hand wasn't from a dog, but from some rabid animal. That would have been really bad. Or maybe from a werewolf. That would be even worse. I began to worry and started watching him more closely just to make sure he was okay. I noticed that he began hiding his hand in his jacket pocket, wearing sunglasses at night, and was always tired. I could tell that something wasn't right. Then one night, I heard strange sounds coming from his room, so I hurried to him. Stan, please tell me what's going on. Tell me the truth. What is wrong with you? I asked. He said, Really, I'm okay. I'm just hungry. Do we have any meat? Meat? As in bloody meat? Suddenly, my imagination started running wild, and I began thinking to myself, oh my God, what if Stan was bitten by a werewolf? I checked the almanac and determined that the full moon was only 3 days away. I was scared out of my mind. What will happen if he changes when I'm home all alone? I felt like I was doomed to be killed by my own brother. I knew that the only way to kill a werewolf was with a silver bullet or a silver dagger. But one, where could I find one of those? And two, how could I kill my own brother? I must be lost my mind. My parents wouldn't be back for a week. Time passed, and the day of the full moon arrived. I knew I would have to face the person I loved most in the world besides my parents, and either I would kill him or he would kill me. A lose-lose situation. When my brother came home, he looked so strange. His eyes were darting around like a wolf, and he even smelled like a wolf. I pretended to be strong, but inside I was trembling, fearful of what this night might bring. I locked myself in my bedroom and waited for this night to pass quickly, I hoped. Then I heard Stan's door open, and I heard his light footsteps coming closer to my door. He knocked and asked if he could come in. Hesitantly, I opened the door. Hi, Stan. Is there something you need? I asked, and he said, I am so tired. Then I saw his skin turning a grayish color. He was clutching his stomach. The transformation was about to begin. He made a sound like a snarl. Saliva was drooling from his mouth. Fortunately, Elle was holding a silver kitchen knife. Thank God, Mom had some real silverware she had gotten out for the holiday dinner. I had gone by a church that day and asked a priest to bless a jar of water I brought with me, and I had dipped my silver knife in that blessed holy water just before I had opened my door to confront Stan. I was ready to pounce before he could. "Forgive me, dear brother," I said. Then I pulled the knife back to get ready to thrust it forward to stab him in the stomach. At that instant, Dad suddenly came in through the front door and saw me with a knife in my hand, ready to run Stan through with it. "Marlene, what are you doing?" he asked, staring at the knife in my hand. I shouted, "Dad, run! Stan is changing into a werewolf." Then Stan unexpectedly fell down unconscious, looking very much human. Dad ran over to him and felt his forehead. "He has a fever," said Dad. "Look at his hand, Dad. He's been bitten by a werewolf," I cried. Dad looked at me as if I was crazy and said, "Nonsense, Marlene. It's just a dog bite." We took Stan to a doctor who examined him and took some blood samples. He did indeed have rabies, also known as hydrophobia, I learned. I laughed, but then I told myself that this really wasn't funny. I almost convinced myself that my brother was a werewolf. If Dad had come home a few seconds later, Stan might very well be dead now. I was seconds away from murdering my own brother due to a runaway imagination. It's been 2 weeks now, and Stan has finished the shot treatment. He's getting better quickly. What about me, you ask? Well, I've stopped watching horror movies forever. Well, at least till next month.